The Knicks are in a really weird spot right now, I feel like. They are 13-6 and honestly playing pretty well so far this year. And yet, Knicks Twitter just seems frustrated with this team in a variety of ways. And it's weird because it's like, I feel like they're in a position to be really, really competitive this year. I think their depth is a little better than last year. Different new coaching system doesn't always hurt. I mean, Tibbs is a great coach, but I think Mike Brown is too. There is, I think, a lot to like about this team, and yet if you ask Knicks Twitter, I don't think they like this team very much. They seem really frustrated with karl-Anthony Towns, is one thing I've very much noticed so far this year. And to be fair, somewhat for good reason. He has not been amazing so far this year, but the honest truth is this team has managed to play pretty darn good basketball despite a little bit of a slow start to the season. They started 2-3. Since then, they are 11-3 in their last 14 games, playing really, really solid basketball. The advanced statistics say they're playing well. I mean, they're 12th in defensive rating around the league. They're third in offensive rating. They have a net rating of 7.4 points per 100 possessions, which puts them fourth in all of basketball. They're a really, really solid team on paper. They're doing a lot of things well. They're competing at a very high level. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference in terms of net rating so far this year. Dominate a Raptors team that's been playing really solid basketball so far this year, and a very, very impressive win. They're 10-1 at home. Madison Square Garden is the best place in sports, I would say, to play pretty much, and I think the Knicks look like they have a real home court advantage this season. Jalen Brunson is great, although he wasn't super efficient tonight. They have a well-rounded, solid roster. They have real depth in that they've been able to bring Josh Hart off the bench prior to OG Anunoby getting hurt. The addition of Gershon Yabusele, even though he's been hit or miss, I like, especially as he gets in more in shape. Same thing with Jordan Clarkson. Mitchell Robinson is healthy and has been great so far. Landry Shamet's a contributor on the wing that you can kind of trust. Tyler Kolek might develop even further into more of a contributing role player in his own right. This team feels like they have more depth than they have the last few years, and honestly, a lot of the stats indicate a really, really good basketball team. Mikal Bridges has been extremely efficient so far this year. He's 41% from three. Jalen Brunson, 38% from three, 54% from the inside the arc. He's averaging 29-6, almost a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Has been really, really good this year. Cat has been the biggest disappointment this year. Only 33% from three and 50% from two-point range. Only averaging 21 points a game. Still second in the league in rebounding, to be fair, at 12 rebounds a game. But the efficiency has definitely been down this year. I've seen Knicks Twitter calling him soft this year, which I mean, that's obviously been a criticism of Cat in the past as well, but I honestly think they're being a little overcritical. Maybe it's just me. I like Cat. I think he's been relatively productive still. Maybe not to peak Cat levels, but I think there is room for improvement for sure, and I don't doubt that shooting improvement especially will likely come as the season progresses. OG's hurt right now, going to be out for a couple weeks, but still 39% from three so far this year, has been really efficient in his own right. Josh Hart shot the three okay. Deuce McBride's turned into such a key role player for this team, shooting 43% from three this year. Landry Shamet doing what he does best, also shooting the three ball at an elite level. You'd like to see a little more from Jordan Clarkson or Tyler Kolek from the outside, but they've been finishing the ball well, and I mean, both of them, I think, are trustworthy bench playmakers as well, which is nice. And then Mitchell Robinson's been great. If he can stay healthy, he is such a huge piece to this team because Mitchell Robinson gives them so much versatility that very few other teams in the league have, where they can go really big with Cat at the 4, Mitchell Robinson at the 5, out-rebound you, out-physical you, outsize you, and then they can also go kind of small with a real stretch big in karl-Anthony Towns at the 5, allowing you to space the floor and play 5 out. They have the ability to kind of play however they want, and it enables them to kind of dictate matchups against any team in the Eastern Conference. They can do things to make life difficult for, I think, any team in the East. At the same time, I think if you asked a Knicks fan, how do you feel about this team? A lot of them would be like, yeah, I'm not sold at all. And like, to me, it's a little discouraging, I would have to say, because the honest truth is it kind of has to be this year for the Knicks for multiple reasons. Number one, the East is extremely up in the air. The Pistons have been awesome, but I'm not 100% sold on them come playoff time winning 3 series. We'll see. They feel like the best team in the East still right now. But the Knicks are the 2 seed. They just dominated the Raptors, who are the 3 seed. As much as I like what the Heat have done offensively so far this year, they don't have the star power, in my opinion, to win a bunch of rounds of the playoffs, although the Heat have proven us wrong before. Hawks are good. They're going to have a Trae Young situation coming up here pretty soon. We'll see what happens there. Magic have played a lot better as of late, but can they win 3 rounds in the playoffs? I don't know. The Cavs have been really underwhelming. They've lost 3 games in a row, not nearly as impressive as was expected from them this year. The Celtics have played pretty good, but Will Tatum be back? Will Tatum be back in time to give them a good chance? Can they really compete for a title this year? I don't know. The Sixers are interesting as well. And outside of that, I mean, Bulls and Bucks started the season well, but both of those teams are falling apart. Who knows what's going to happen with the Bucks and Giannis? Again, I've talked about it multiple times, but the point is the East is wide open. And the Knicks cap situation freaking sucks. Because next year, they owe Cat $4 million more dollars. They owe OG $3 million more dollars. They owe Jalen Brunson $3 million more dollars. That's already, what, $10 million more dollars? Mikal Bridges was a $9 million increase. That's $19 million more. And then another million for Josh Hart. They owe their big five guys $20 million more dollars next year than they do this year. So even with a cap increase, they will likely be over the second apron next year. At least if they were to retain some of these guys, they're role players next year, unless they are willing to make changes among their top five contracts, could become a real issue. Mitchell Robinson's an unrestricted free agent. Landry Shamit's an unrestricted free agent. Gordon Clarkson's an unrestricted free agent. Like, some of these key role players for this team are not even going to be on this team next year in all likelihood. And I just wonder, cap-wise, can they sustain this level of elite play and also maintain the depth that they've been able to have this year? And honestly, as of right now, I think the answer is no, unless they're willing to make some real changes. Maybe some real changes will happen. Who knows? I think the way this year goes will dictate a lot of what the future holds for the Knicks. But I am a little concerned because they just don't, and it's hard to put a finger on exactly why, but it just doesn't feel right this year. And maybe as the year progresses, it will start to feel a little bit more right, but it feels like there's a little more tension there at times. Mikal Bridges, I think, has been awesome this year, really bought in on both ends of the court. I think he's been great, but the Cat stuff is questionable. Him and Josh Hart seem to be a little on different pages at times. I mean, who knows, man? At the end of the day, I'm just not convinced. And this is a team that needs to win this year, plain and simple, because there's no guarantees next year that the East is going to be as wide open. There's no guarantees next year that their roster is going to look anything like it does this year. And look, they are too good of a basketball team to not give themselves a real chance to win. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen this year. They're the best team in the East on paper right now. 7.4 net rating. I know the Pistons have been great, but as of late, the Pistons have started to slip up a little bit. They're not going to win 14 games in a row all season, or 13 in a row, or whatever it is. As much as I like the Pistons, I think as of right now, this is the Knicks' opportunity. You got to figure it out. If there's anything going on awkwardness-wise with this team, you got to figure that out, and you just got to figure out a way to be as productive, as healthy, and as consistent as possible. Because if they can stay healthy and they can continue to grow that cohesion as a roster, they are in the position to be really, really, really good and have a serious chance to compete for a title, win the East, and give them, I mean, once you get to the finals, all you got to do is win 4 games. I'm not saying it's going to be easy against OKC or Denver or whoever comes out the West, because the West is ridiculous. But if you're going to make the finals, this is the year. Plain and simple. And so it's going to be fascinating to see what happens in New York as the year progresses. I am definitely going to be watching this team pretty closely as the year progresses. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And yeah, just thought I'd break down the Knicks a little bit. So I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.